Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? Well, join me this week as my special guest is author Meg Stafford, and we turn the tables a little. I am interviewing Meg in my kitchen, but Meg will do the cooking. She is cooking up a delicious quinoa summer salad. So join me in my kitchen with Meg Stafford this week. And today I have, actually, she's a returning guest. So she's one of our favorite guests, Meg Stafford. And she's an author and an expert. And she has this wonderful book called Who Will Accompany You? And today we're kind of turning the tables. Meg's going to do the cooking so I can just sit down and talk. And I don't have to do any of the cooking. She has come up with this delicious summer recipe that I'm really excited about. I think you're all going to love it. So I wanted her to share it with everyone. Meg, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Very fun to be back and cooking together.
Yes. And Meg, tell us the whole title of your book, because I just said Who Will Accompany You, but the title is
So Who Will Accompany You? My Mother-Daughter Journeys Far from Home and Close to the Heart.
There you go. There you go. That's great.
My journeys to Nepal and Bhutan with my younger daughter, and to Colombia with my older daughter.
Oh, wow. That sounds great. And as we said, cooking together is sharing, and, you can share that with family too. So tell us about this wonderful recipe that you're going to be making today.
So this is a quinoa salad that I tasted and tried to recreate, and it has just sort of become a signature dish with a very fresh dressing and fun ingredients. Right. So I have made some tricolor quinoa. And then to it, I add about a half cup of chopped apricots, which is just fun, and about just a bunch of chopped scallions.
Okay. And you can, I judge the amount of scallions. Obviously, we'll put this recipe on the blog for the marialiberatishow.com and also marialiberati.com. So if you don't catch the exact amounts or ingredients, it'll be up there.
And the great thing about it is that it's sort of to taste. So everybody will have the right recipe.
Yes.
So I'm going to add a diced red pepper. So in it goes. And about a half a cup of pistachios.
Okay. Oh, I love those.
See what?
So are they salted and shelled, I guess, right?
Yes, these are. Sometimes I am there. I have only the ones in shell, so I'm spending. It takes
so long to shell them. Yeah, I always recommend if you're using them for a recipe, get them shelled.
It's a good way to go. So
yes,
put them all in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna mix them up a little bit.
Okay.
And I want to just show you this because my husband made this bowl.
Oh, that's beautiful.
My favorite bowl of his, but
wow. He does ceramics?
He does ceramics on the side. So we have a wheel and a number of kilns. So
that's lovely. Oh, wow.
Very excited about it. But
yes, that's beautiful. That makes it even more special, when you serve a dish to serve it in special dinnerware.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So you're just stirring everything together.
Yes. And I had when cooking the quinoa, it's a 1 to 2, 1 cup of quinoa, 2 cups of water. And I use this better than bouillon or any kind of vegetable broth, but I use this one. And also I try to remember to rinse the quinoa because that helps it to be less starchy. So
yes, you're right.
In a fine mesh. And now I'm going to put in, so I tend to not make the dressing all together, but to just pour it on.
Pour it on. So you pour each ingredient on. I know you told me the different things you're dressing it with, but we'll tell everyone. And I love that you use the tricolor quinoa because it gives us sort of all different colors That's
Yeah.
nice. The
And the
tricolor.
whole dish is colorful because you have the
Right.
yellow of the golden of the apricot and the red of the peppers.
Exactly. And the other
And
thing
the
that's
scallion.
great, especially for summer, is there's really minimal cooking, right? It's only cooking the
Right.
quinoa.
Yeah, and that
So
takes a
if
very
it's,
short time.
yes, right, exactly. So if it's a hot day and you just want to do something quick, you can just cook the quinoa
And
and
it's
everything.
actually lovely room temperature. It's nice cold, like
Right.
and you can even have it if it's still a little
You
warm.
can do,
I-
right. And it's
It's
great
perfect,
leftover. And it
great
also
leftover.
is, you can serve it outside. There's no
Yes,
mayonnaise or something that you
right.
have to worry about
Yeah,
spoiling.
and it can be outside for a little while without
Right,
running into trouble.
right. And it's a nice transportable salad if somebody wants a salad for lunch if they're going to work or, want
Yes,
a
which I
lunch
have done
for
many
them.
times with the leftovers.
Yes,
And
yes.
so I have put in olive oil, and this particular one, we have an olive oil and balsamic vinegar store
Oh, yes.
the next town over. And
Uh-huh.
this one is called Milanese Gremolata. And it
Oh,
has
okay.
in it some garlic and lemon, and there's something else, but it's a lovely olive oil. And I
Okay.
have also added some rice vinegar, which gives
Okay.
it a little bit of a sharp flavor.
Right.
And then now I'm also going to put in some grapefruit balsamic vinegar, which is a kind of, it's at least this one is a little bit sweet and a little bit tart.
Heart. Yes, yes.
It's gonna give a little
That gives it
cooler.
a nice, refreshing, really refreshing flavor. And I always tell
Yeah,
everyone, try when you get olive oil, try to get the extra virgin cold pressed. And especially when you're not cooking with it, you're using it to dress a salad and mixing just as she did. You can do that. You can just dress the salad with your ingredients instead of mixing those ingredients and then placing them in. And you probably want to let that marinate a little, right? To get all
uh,
the flavors in. Do you do that?
yes, I will often make it up the night before, leaving out the pistachios, which I'll in at the last minute because I want to make sure that they don't get soggy. So I want to make
Yes.
sure that
There
they
you
maintain their
exactly.
crunch.
Yeah, there
And
you
then
go. You're
also,
right.
like, I love, this is a very fun salt shaker.
Oh, there you go.
Pump
Yes.
ones. So here's my thumb
Yes.
exercise. little,
So
little
the salt, probably
salt.
salt to taste, right?
Yes, salt
However
and
much salt you
pepper.
wanted to add, and black pepper.
Yeah. Yep. This is a black
That's
pepper. I'm
that.
sure.
Yeah. So you can just freshly ground the black pepper. And that's a good idea to not let the pistachios sit in the salad. You can maybe even top the salad with them,
At the end,
also if
yeah,
you wanted to
yeah.
do that, or even
And
grind them and then top them if you want to grind them.
ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, you can just
It's
do that and grind them.
and I also make a similarly a cold salad that's a wild rice and seasonings, and instead of pistachios, that uses pecans, and
Uh-huh.
instead of the apricots, it uses yellow raisins, and sometimes
Oh,
I
wow.
some dried cranberry.
Right.
Similar, also the red pepper and the scallion, and again,
Uh-huh.
it's just um, a tasty, flavorful
Yeah,
summer
that's
food.
great.
It looks
That's a
like
great salad.
uh,
Oh, that's beautiful.
pretty.
Really very pretty. That looks like that would be great too. Like if you want to serve it maybe on a bed of lettuce, for presentation. And like I
Hmm.
said, maybe even grind the pecans if you're not putting them in and sprinkle them on top. Or even if you did, you could grind some and then sprinkle on top. As just a little bit of
Yeah.
a,
No,
oh,
I
that
think
looks
that's a great
delicious.
idea. I
Yeah,
think it'd
that
be
looks
lovely on a bed of lettuce, actually. Yeah.
exactly. You can if you want to, but I mean, as we said, if you're just eating it, it's a picnic and it's just a quick thing, or bringing it somewhere, you can just do that. But for presentation, I can just imagine it on a bed of lettuce or something.
Yeah.
That sounds
Definitely.
delicious.
Always will set it off.
That looks delicious, Meg. Thanks so much for sharing that recipe.
That's
So
my
tell us,
pleasure.
yes, so do you have any, I didn't know when I talked to you last time, did you tell me you were working on another book or no?
Yes, I have gotten started on a book that will be partially a combination of the columns that I have written. And so I'm
Oh,
grouping them by category, and then I'm going to write about each category and include some of the columns in it. So
oh,
it'll
okay.
be I'm looking forward to that. So,
Oh, that sounds great. Anything you can tell us about the book or any topic that will be?
Oh, so there is, as in this book, there are some about travel. There's some about parenting. There's some that are many about the animals, about the dogs and the cats and what we've learned from them. And some are just silly about feet, about my first pedicure. About it's a broad range. Some are about losing people, what it's like to go
so is it like an anthology type of a book, it sounds like, because it has stories about different topics?
It's because my columns, I've written for really 30 years. It covers thoughts about parenting from the time the kids were really young until until much more recent. Or thoughts about my own parents and what it was like when they were ill and dying. And so it covers a number of topics over time. So it'll be partly my thoughts about each of these subjects over time and what I've learned, where it's gone. So,
and I know you've written many columns. Tell us some of the publications that you've written for or that your columns have been in.
There were many in my local paper, which was the Littleton Independent, the Metro West, and all of the papers in the area, which are connected under what's called the Wicked Local.
Oh, okay.
And so Metro West was a little further south from here, was a regional paper. But I would sometimes get comments from people not even knowing that my column had been in their
had paper. Reached that. Yes.
That was always interesting. I never knew where it was gonna be.
Where it was gonna show up. Exactly. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that sounds like a really lovely book.
And last month, I told a story with WGBH, our local public radio.
Oh, yes, WGBH.
So they do a program called Stories from the Stage. And it is 7-minute stories about various topics. They do different topics for different evenings. And I told a story that was partially based on the book and takes place in Colombia, and it was about part of my experience there and some of the people that I met there. So I will find out soon when that is going to air. So.
Oh, wow, that's great. Well, congratulations on that. Yeah, you should shoot me an email and let me know, because I will tell everybody, especially those that are in the Boston area. But I know most of the stations now, you can get them you can get them online at any time.
And it will actually be on World Channel. So it is, which you can get anywhere.
Exactly. You'll be able to get that anywhere. Oh, that's great.
First foray into telling my stories aloud.
Yes. Oh, that's great. That's exciting. Yeah. That's great. Well, congratulations on that. So, and do you have your own website also?
Yes. And many of my, all of the more recent, like the last 10 years of columns are on there, as well as this book and my first book.
Okay. And is it just megstafford.com?
Yep, www.megstafford.com.
Okay, and that's STAFFORD. So if you check that out, you can find more info about Meg and her columns. And as mentioned, we'll have this lovely recipe up, and hopefully in the next month or two, she'll be joining us. We already figured out another recipe we'd like to do together. Yes.
Salmon chowder. Yum.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Salmon chowder, which sounds really good. It sounds like a great summer recipe, too. That sounds great. Great. Meg, thank you so much for being on. And hopefully you'll keep us posted on the next book. And that's megstafford.com. And yep, look at my website for the recipe, marialiberati.com, the marialiberattishow.com. It'll be on there. Thanks so much for the recipe, Meg. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thanks for having me. Enjoy your afternoon.
Have a great summer. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show, and thanks for joining us. And as always, thanks to my producer, Britton Roselle, and this week's special guest, Meg Stafford. And as always, you can find me on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati on Twitter at Maria Liberati, on Instagram at Maria Liberati, on Vimeo at Maria Liberati, the new website for the podcast, themarialiberattishow.com, our YouTube channel called The Maria Liberati Show, and let's see, also on LinkedIn at M Liberati, and Pinterest at Maria Liberati. And you can find all my books in the Gourmand World Award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, on Amazon.com and Kindle, as well as on marialiberati.com. And you can also find them on the publisher's website, Art of Living, primamedia.com, and really anywhere books are sold online or offline. Until next week, peace, love, and pasta.